How does that sound now? Let me know how that sounds. I don't know what's going on with this mic. Has a mind of its own at times. Sound good now? Let me know in the chat if it sounds all right. Your mic has went. Your mic has went like fuzzy. Is it still like that? There we go. Perfect. So it's all good now. Let's go. Thumbs up, baby. But yeah, we're going to be previewing the Merseyside derby, talking about a number of things, and of course we'll start with the presser, the Gaffer's presser today. A little bit of updates there and stuff like that. Some of it okay news, some of it disappointing news, of course, Robbo and all that kind of stuff. But we'll go through it anyway. So we shall start. We'll also look at the Everton team, and we'll talk about um some of the danger that's in there and stuff. A lot of Liverpool fans today, I was listening to them, some content creators, dismissing Everton and stuff like that. And I think that's a very dangerous thing to do in the derby. If anyone thinks that this Everton side doesn't pose a threat, and I know we've a very good record at Anfield and stuff like that against them and stuff like that, it is a derby. Anything can happen, and you have to go in with the right mentality. And remember, when you're coming back to these 12:30 kickoffs, it's very, very dangerous. Uh, so we'll see what happens. Let's see what this is here. We'll go in. So my mic is all good. Dara is saying it's all good. Welcome in, Dara, by the way, as well. Mate, I'm pissed off tonight after that long-haired yet was acting towards me. Who was that? I'm not sure who you're talking about there. Update me, Jack, and let me know. But yeah, as we said, we're talking about the Merseyside derby, and if it ever encompasses two men who will probably be pivotal tomorrow in that derby, of course, the great Mo Salah and of course Calvert-Lewin. So yeah, very, 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 very interesting. But should be a fabulous game. It's an opportunity for us to go top, albeit even if it's only for a number of hours or whatever it is. Tottenham not playing till Monday. Arsenal playing the later game away to Chelsea. United, obviously, the 8 p.m. against Sheffield United, and of course, Man City in the afternoon against Brighton. So it's a real opportunity if we can lay down a marker, get the 3 points on the board, get the win, move on, and get ready then for the Europa League on Thursday. But let's talk about the presser first, right? We'll get into the presser and talk about the Gaffers. Which Nottingham Forest fan? I don't know, Jack. I'm lost. Maybe it's something that I miss or something like that. I'm not too sure. But let's get into the press conference anyway, and let's talk about what the gaffer said. And we'll start with Robbo. He says, a little bit, I think the decision will go towards surgery. A little chance we can try without, but all experts say surgery will be the best for the long term, and that means he's out for a while. We don't know exactly how long. Just bite the bullet and do the surgery. Don't mess around and stuff like that, because it's just a waste of time. You'll go down this pathway for 4 to 6 weeks and ultimately end up with surgery and stuff like that. If it's a dislocated shoulder, go get it done. Let's get the guy back as quick as we can. Latest injury news, Gakpo trained once with the team, so he will have to see how it goes for tomorrow. Bietic Thiago out, as we know. Ben Doak is out as well, has a little muscle thing, not available. That little muscle thing, I think he spoke about last time as well. He was saying before, I said, can you react to my Premier League on live now, please? And he said, no, because it's rude, or rude. He said, I don't like people promoting on my channel. And I did even want to promote my channel. Well, mate, you can always promote your channel here. That's not a problem. I always say to anyone out there has a channel, dropping in the links and stuff like that. But sure. And his mods were real too, and he pissed me off, so I started saying things back. Look, it is what it is. Jack, you're not going to always find nice people sometimes in this world of content creation. You just got to roll with it and just, be careful who you interact with and stuff like that, So yeah, that's the update on the injury news. It's a special game on the Merseyside derby. It's a special game, a high pressure game. They all played well, and this does be a high pressure game. There's a lot of intensity of this. There's a lot on the line on this. So much more than 3 points and stuff like that. Bragging rights. a city nearly at war, isn't it, when the Blues and the Reds come together at Anfield? I don't think we should make too big for them. I think they are ready for it. Yeah, absolutely. On the Everton defeat in 2021, that was a very low point. That is one too many. The facts are Everton are in a good moment. Successfully stayed up and start was not even. But last few weeks they have results with performances. Yeah, basically what's happened to Everton over the last few weeks is they've started to find a few goals. They don't give away a lot of goals. If you look at the performances in the first 8 games, there's a lot of kind of 1-0s in there and 2-1s and stuff like that. But they were so blunt. They were creating chances, but they didn't score them. So it's really, really important that we're careful about this. Don't take this for granted. The results and their position in the league doesn't really tell the story of how they've played. And now that they have Calvert-Lewin back and some dangerous men like that, we will look at their lineup and we'll dissect it down and stuff like that. Then he gone on to speak about facing Everton. He says derbies all difficult for different reasons. I don't think it makes sense to compare other derbies to this derby. They've got results. Before that, the performances in the best moments. A super difficult team to play. Yeah, it's always going to be physical. It's always going to be antagonistic and all that kind of stuff. So it's really, really important. Um, that we go out with the right attitude tomorrow. You know what I mean? We're not complacent. We don't take things for granted. You got to remember as well, we're no wins and 2 so far. So any kind of slip up, yes, tomorrow or anything like that in terms of a draw, which I don't see happening. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to big up Everton here in any way, but I'm trying to big up the importance of the game after the loss against Spurs and the draw against Brighton. And especially from set pieces as well. And these guys, Everton, have dangerous players in terms of set pieces and stuff like that. So it's really, really important from that point of view. On Costas, he says, very important to have players like that. Thank God it's not only Costas we have like that. Joe Gomez can play the position, Luke Chambers and other young boys. Young kids are really showing up. Yeah, that's what we want to hear. Bring players through and stuff. New midfield. He says, Maka can play the position. We can play a different system. We can play a double pivot. It's not my problem thinking we can play there. Endo played 2 games for Japan. It's a tricky selection. So nice to have selection problems in midfield and stuff like that. And especially at a time as well where you have those options. And Thiago is out. Stefan is out potentially. You know what I mean? There's players out and we still a bit of a headache there and stuff like that. And it's interesting. I think he'll go really, really strong tomorrow. And I'm looking forward to seeing the selection when it comes out. Selection thoughts. It's a tricky selection. Some of the boys came back yesterday and it was an easy session. Come in, warm up on a rondo. We have to talk to them, see how they are feeling. Traveling was better organised this time. That helped. We just find the right players for the intensity. So really saying there is I'm going to look at the players tomorrow and see who's on it, see who really wants it. The record. He says, it's uncomfortable if you tell me about my good derby record. I couldn't care. Not important, which is important. Like it's important to say that as well. The records are relevant to tomorrow's game, and tomorrow's game is a huge 3 points that we need to put on the board. So I like the attitude that we don't think about these records. We just make sure we're really ready. We understand the pressure, importance of the game. Can't remember one moment we enjoyed a derby. Yeah, they're not enjoyable and stuff like that. And the Deutsch effect as well. There's no love lost between the gaffer and Deutsch, that's for sure. And Deutsch will try to ratchet up to see, to take any kind of advantage in there and stuff like that to rally it up. We know how Deutsch, he likes messing around, he likes bantering benches and getting people rallied up and all that kind of stuff. So he'll use every card and every you know everything in the game to try and get things going. Everton deserve respect on Everton. Calvert-Lewin is back, real quality. Decore, Onana, Gahey, super experienced, really good centre halves, and England's number 1 in goal. A good team. I like the way he names off all the boys, and then England's number 1 in goal. He doesn't mention his name. Quality. I love the gaffer. I understand the derby, but I cannot prepare a one-off game. We have to play our best. Absolutely. I love that. Didn't name him. You speak Liverpool system. You speak like Everton get on the ball out wide because Costas is up front, and we don't react to that. It's important when we win the challenges. They have strong players, but we have pretty good players as well. So yeah, that's a case of it's a derby game. Match them up, stand up, match them up. Where are we? Take some comments first. Uh, He's saying, and his mods were rude too and pissed me off, so he started saying things back. That's what I said, that Warren, you don't mind. That just shows me that he is selfish and he is the type of person like Anfield Agenda start making lies about people. Listen, don't get caught up in that stuff. Brian, how are you, my friend? Hope you're enjoying your Friday. Hope you're getting ready. It's an unbelievable day of football tomorrow, isn't it? It's going to be helter skelter, really. Anyway, I reckon the newsstand is going to be ready before Tiago is. That's a very safe bet, Jack. That's for sure. Seeing that young that from Ireland starts training with us yesterday, uh, Doherty or something like that. He is 17. Yeah, seeing the signing all right was pretty good. Made it a joke. Full Tranmere is heartbreaking. They used to be so. I remember the good days of Tranmere, Jack. I'm old enough to remember them. My man is in. Morris, evening, Niall. I expect a tight sun tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely. They're always horrible games, and all that. They really are. It's always I always worry about the injuries and stuff like that. I always worry about like it's nearly anti-football, isn't it? Really, it's just lads flying and stuff like that, and requires a very strong referee, a very strong set of officials, and a very strong VAR situation. And we're going to talk about that because I don't think that's the case. It's my buddy. How are you? All good, my friend. How are you? Hope you're having a nice Friday. Hope you're staying in as well. It's horrific out there. It took me nearly 2 hours to get home today for a drive that's about 40 minutes. Are you a fan of Tranmere, Noel? Um, yeah, probably going back to the Aldo days and stuff like that. I would have been. I would have followed them and stuff like that. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't follow it much now, Jack, because I just don't really get enough time either. Henry always asks me as well. Henry follows the youth and the academy and stuff like that, and the women's teams and all. I'd love to have the time to do it, but I just don't. I'm just so flat out with podcasts and I'm working everything else. I don't get the chance. Let's continue with the presser. Salah's video. It's not about the video Salah made, obviously, about this situation in Israel and all that stuff. How is this not a political question? He says, very important. We have strong characters, but I'm not sure this is a right place to discuss a super serious matter. I think we should leave it out of the room, but I am in no doubt about Mo's character. Absolutely summed it up perfectly. It's such a sensitive subject. You know, people just have to be so careful. Elliot Praise grew up, matured, became a man, really good player for us. Proud moment for him, captain in the England under 21s. If you're a good footballer, young and smart, you take the right role models in the right moment, things you see and hear. Big praise there for Elliot and stuff like that. A guy who, again, I think the jury's out. I'm not too sure, but let us know your thoughts in the chat. Let us know what you think. Um, Jack, put it behind you. Don't dwell on it. Don't dwell on it. You know, this is, just avoid that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff stops you creating content and stuff. Morris, working tomorrow 9 to 7. We'll miss a lot. If Aces is wondering, it's a 4.50 for a chicken roll and a can of Coke. Unlimited fillings, country life, I tell you. Got to get out of Dublin if you want to be getting chicken rolls and breakfast rolls and all that kind of things. It's a shambles now, an absolute shambles unless you get out of the city. I'll keep you updated, Morris. No doubt we will be conversing tomorrow a lot, no doubt. Don't forget to check out, make sure, Morris, we'll have Fantasy Chancer coming out later on this evening. To update all you fantasy football people. Morris gives us that show every week, and we'll have one later on. So make sure when it goes up, you check it out and give it your support. I have to put Steven Gerrard on my Mount Rushmore. Not a bad show. You'll get plenty of arguments back and forth about it. Ellie has dropped off a bit, all right. He has, hasn't he, Brian? And Brian, what do you make of his physicality as well? It's not just, look, we know he's a baller. We know he has all the skill in the world. I think that last game I seen him playing in when he came on, and did he come on or did he start and come off? God, he was out of the game totally. His touch was awful. Physicality, he was losing the ball and getting pushed off the ball and stuff like that. And there's always a question mark over his physicality in that Premier League midfield because, when you see him going up against some of those guys that are in there, the likes of Rodri and guys like that and stuff like that, it's a real tough one, a real tough one. Mate, I go Tranmere home games mostly, but today I could have went with my mates, and I seen that you're doing a derby preview. Thought to watch this instead. I watch the Tranmere game at home, and I follow. Listen, I appreciate your commitment, my friend. Absolutely, always appreciate your commitment. And there will be a lot of people out there that would say they'd rather watch my show than go see a Tranmere game. But listen, I love watching football and stuff like that. I love even watching underage football. I used to coach at underage football, and all. It was absolutely brilliant. Aces is in. No thanks, Morris. London's deli counter full of food poisoning and vomiting and diarrhea. I don't think you get that at Morris's counter now. Morris runs a tight ship. Aces. Morris runs a tight ship. And I tell you, looking at the differential in the cost as well, it might be nearly worth the petrol money. I tell you, it's crazy these days. Um, yeah, laugh out loud. Absolutely, Jackie. Listen, Jack, if you don't laugh, you're gonna cry. So that's what I said to you. Listen, you come here, you'll get entertained, that's for sure. And listen, don't be worried about those other channels of content creators. They all get wound up at times and stuff like that. Just it's not real world, it's not real world. On the South American contingent returning, we booked better flights, got them all together, picked them up so they didn't have to take commercial flights from here to there, which is tiring after 100 minutes of football. We're good at that. Enough ops to practice that. Enough opportunities to practice it, yeah. So what he based it, he got the old Learjet off John Henry, did he? And he flew the Learjet all around South America, picking the boys up like it was a taxi rank and stuff like that. All good, I have to say. Uh, that's everything. That's everything from the presser. So enough of that. Now where am I? Get some stats up for this game. Why? Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, we got our stats up for the game. I'll come up now in a second. Right. So before we get into the actual game itself, I want to flash this up here. Really, really important before we get into it. Yeah, absolutely. It's full of rat droppings. Uh, yeah, Warren is live tomorrow. Gonna watch it. Yeah, Warren show is a great show. I have to say it's a really, really good show. I always enjoy Warren Show. The banter is great and it's fun and it's just, it's light-hearted and stuff like that. You'll definitely enjoy it. Aces, it's full of rat droppings. God Lord. Uh, Thank you, mate. Yeah, absolutely. Brian's there. Yeah, agreed. He's a bit weak. He's kind of still the player he was 2 seasons ago. He hasn't gone up the next level, but still only 20, I suppose. Yeah, look, he's bags of skill and stuff like that. And I'm not comparing him to Messi and stuff like that, but of kind of that same kind of stature, smaller, kind of low center of gravity and stuff like that. And you look at Messi, when Messi's on the ball and stuff like that, he just bounces off players for fun and stuff like that. He's still physical enough to guard the ball and hold on to the ball and be clever in those moments. Not comparing the two in any way and stuff like that. But I think he has to work a bit more on his physicality and he has to be able to, ride those challenges, but hold on to possession and stuff like that. No, everything else about his game, I think, is excellent. He's really, really good in all those other moments, but physicality is one that I'm always concerned about. Klopp is now going to be debuting on the Mount Rushmore. I don't know. I think Klopp's been probably on a few Mount Rushmores in the past. I'll stick 50 on Aces to get sick anytime, but I won't show you the bet slip. Oh my God. Seen the report today that apparently we have reached an agreement with Napoli for Usman. Absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Listen, wherever you're reading that, if that's on Twitter, wherever you're reading it, just ignore it. Absolutely ignore it. Do you know my real jack for players? My real jack for players is we can talk about all this kind of stuff, but until they're holding up the jersey, forget about it. That ain't going to happen. Argentina 60, All Blacks 20. No surprise. Should have been us. Imagine if we get him and on an announcement vid, we put him in it. Jeez, can you imagine? Good Lord. I think he'd probably walk out. We'd be in more trouble and all, wouldn't we? But I wanted to talk about this. First of all, huge happy birthday to the man, Ian Rush. What a player. What a privilege it was to be in the live and be able to watch him and stuff like that. What a goal scorer. And here, what a mustache. What a mustache. Let's start with that even. But an incredible player. So happy birthday to Rushy today. The other one I want to talk about, Paul Curtis there. Paul Curtis artwork. He does a lot of the murals around Anfield and around the city and stuff like that. Look at that absolute classic he's put together. And what a time to unveil that on the eve of a derby. The man who turned around says there's only two teams in Liverpool. And that's Liverpool and Liverpool reserves. How right he was. But that's down at Hotel TIA, think, as far as I know, and they're launching this beautiful whiskey in the great man's name and stuff like that. And I believe there's an opportunity you can order as well, signed bottles as well, special signature signed bottles as well, signed by Phil Thompson, Ian Callahan, and also his granddaughter Karen Gill. So, folks, take advantage of that. If you're a Liverpool fan and stuff like that, I will be certainly ordering a bottle of that to put there behind us on display and stuff like that. He's a great man. Um, his philosophy and his thoughts and his when we sometimes talk about the football being the fabric of the city of Liverpool. And when you walk around and culturally how it's intertwined in the people, this man recognized that very quickly and how important it was. And if you go back and you look at some of his speeches and his interviews and stuff like that, it tells you how much the Liverpool people and the city meant to him, not just the football club. But let's see what happens. But yeah, just check that out. It's well worth taking a look, and to have one of those beautiful bottles of whiskey from Shankly and signed and all that kind of stuff. Should be really, really should be interesting. Check it out. So there you go. Right, let's get into this preview. So, does this game need any narrative at all? The Reds versus the Blues, lunchtime kickoff, 12:30, 14 now we're entwined. The talk is they might change the Man City one, but this is not Liverpool fans whinging and crying anymore. This is kind of a piss take at this stage to have 14 half 12s when there's only 4 every year or whatever it is. To have 14 of these and the nearest to us is Spurs with 6. Something's going on there and there's no need for it. And if you look at the schedule of matches, although we talk about what a great festival of football we have tomorrow, why didn't we put on a 2 o'clock game on Sunday? Liverpool could have easily done the derby at 2 o'clock. And I know there's all this talk going around about the drinking and the derbies and all that kind of stuff. That to me at this stage is all a smokescreen, because if people want to drink, they're going to drink if they have to start early. So they're still going to show up slightly hammered to these things if that's the case. That to me is like the smokescreen about the blackout 3 o'clock games. Morris spoke about it afore, how they put it in place just to make sure stadiums are full. Those days, that ship has sailed at this stage. So this needs to be sorted out, the 12:30 kickoff. Joycey summed it up perfectly on Twitter. Man City, Liverpool, 12:30 kickoff. Apparently, they're going to look at that and it could change. Third time this season for us, And I know Klopp with his comments and how he goes at people and stuff like that and all, like, doesn't make him top of the Christmas card list either with the FA or the Premier League or the PGMOL. But if you listen to a lot of what the gaffer says, a lot of it at times makes sense. I know a lot of it he puts out there just to ruffle a little bit, but a lot of it makes sense. If you look at the level of injuries that teams are getting now, and they're all going ballistic, 12 players out, 13, 14 players out. You've seen it again during the international break. Players, Neymar doing ACL, all this kind of thing. They're playing too much. The expectation is too much, and player welfare. Our gaffer spoke about it 3 years ago, and he was vilified for the turnaround, moaning and all this kind of thing. They're professionals. They're paid this amount of money. They should be able to play all this kind of thing. Now it's coming home to roost. Look at what's happening. Look at the level of injuries and stuff like that. So at times when he talks, it's worth listening to. Just because we're at the forefront of it at times, like this PGMOL kind of stuff and all, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a Liverpool thing. It just means that my gaffer and our club had the balls to step up and make it an issue. Jurgen Klopp's side has been in that slot immediately after international break. It will be the 14th occasion immediately after an international break since Klopp took over. Spurs with 6 are next. So that, like, there's something has to be going on there. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. And now, you know how global the club is and stuff like that. We've players from Colombia, Argentina, Uruguay, Brazil, Japan. There's players flying in from everywhere at the moment and stuff like that. And to expect those players to fly in late on a Thursday, to not even practically be able to train, to go into a big derby game on the Saturday. People need to really think about this so much better and stuff like that. The people who are planning these fixtures, people who are making these these selections and these timings and all this kind of thing, they really need to think about that, because you're only diluting your own product at the end of the day. We want players to walk on the pitch to be the best version of them, be 100%, go in there and give that best version. We don't want to see a 60% Darwin Núñez or a 70% Alexis McAllister or stuff like that. And neither should anyone else. So this needs to be looked at and it needs to be sorted. And I believe they're looking at the Man City game and it may change. So let's see what happens. We need to talk about this guy as well, Coote, who you'll remember was the referee um, when Jordan Pickford assaulted Virgil van Dijk and robbed him of a year of his career. And some would say even at this stage has robbed him of a tad bit of his pace for the rest of his remaining career potentially. So I think this really needs to be looked at. He's been put in as the VAR official. And I think again, this is just because there was such a big deal made of the Spurs game. This is the kind of shithousery that now goes on. You know what I mean? And I don't care what anyone says, and I don't care what Howard Webb says. This is not just plucked out of a hat. A lot of this stuff is beginning to look like it's contrived. And I'll just leave it at that before I say anything else. We also believe our friend England is out officiating this weekend. You know what I mean? So where's the credibility? Where's the responsibility? Where's the whole, PGMOL and all this kind of thing? You know what I mean? If this is the case, where's the ramifications of that? If that's a player, he's getting a red card. It's violent conduct. He's getting a 6-match ban. Your Virgil van Dijk came out, he spoke to a referee and stuff like that, ended up getting an additional game and all this kind of thing and stuff like that. Where's the responsibility and the credibility of the PGMOL if this guy can just rock up and start fishing? If this guy who doesn't see that tackle there that you can see on your screen as a absolute assault on a player with no ramifications, how are these guys fit for purpose? Let me know. Let me know. Where are we? Where was I? Dun, 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 dun. Poch just sacked. Can you imagine? I was listening to a preview on the way home actually for the Chelsea Arsenal game, Morris, and it was hilarious. It was Hussam. Hussam was on the football terrace. You should check it out. It's the straight facts one. Man, he absolutely dressed Chelsea down in every single position, giving them no chance tomorrow. He said he doesn't even give them a chance at a 0-0 and all this kind of thing. That just are such levels above them and stuff like that. Not a fan present. Yeah, not a fan present. It's H. at Prenton Park. Mate, I'm telling my dad about that whiskey. Great Christmas fan. That, yeah, absolutely. Well worth getting. If Victor Richmond signs for Liverpool, they'll be throwing bananas, then coconuts. Yeah, it's crazy. It's mad, isn't it? Like, it's just the carry on. And like that whole TikTok thing was absolutely crazy. Posh sacked. Not a fan. And Bala released. Bala released as well. Brian's in. If Everton were playing at the bottom of the garden, I'd draw the curtains. Yeah, remember that? Yeah. Some great stuff and stuff like that. Ian Rush. Now there's a name, Mount Rushmore. Yeah, Mount Ian Rushmore. There you go. That's what you want. Morris, they were on about drinking, but had Arsenal Spurs at 4:30 a few weeks back. Strange. It's just nonsense, isn't it? It's a narrative just to suit the stupid decision making. Like, we're not playing in Europe till Thursday. So we could have went all the way. They could have given us the Sunday. They could have given us the Super Sunday slot. They could have given us the 2 o'clock Sunday slot. They could have given us the 8 o'clock or whatever it is, United slot. There's so many slots they could have given us. And if anything, I think United are playing, I think, on the Tuesday, aren't they? Against Copenhagen in the Champions League. So on the law of averages there, in theory, they should have been in the 12:30 game to get done, get finished early so they can prepare for a massive Champions League game against Copenhagen. Crazy. How much is that whiskey made? I might order from my dad as a Christmas present. I'm not too sure. I'd say it's listed out there. The website is on it as well, Jack. It's I think it's irishdistillery.ie. It's down the bottom of that slide. Yeah, is it? Sorry, St. Patrick's Distillery.ie. So if you check that out, they're obviously the one that's launching it over here. Now, it might be available in Liverpool, Jack. I know that they are going to have it at Hotel TIA, so but I'm not too sure. I don't think it's overly expensive. I know the sign bottles are more expensive, but they would be really cool to have. I don't think Virgil has been the same since. He hasn't. There's no doubt he hasn't. I mean, look, you can see it a mile away. Chelsea versus Wolves is set for Christmas Eve. Ridiculous for supporters for travelling. Yeah, well, that'll change. That can't happen. That's absolutely nonsense. And all right, no worries. Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's get into the team. What are you thinking team wise, folks, for tomorrow? I mean, obviously we're going in. We need a big win. No winning two. Robbed at Spurs, and of course, floundering at Brighton. Well, we should have had the 3 points there. So disappointing. But here's the team I've gone with. I kind of think it's the team most people are going with. The midfield is maybe where there could be some questions and stuff like that. But you're looking, of course, at Ali, and that's of course back four. Costas goes in there instead of Robbo, I would imagine, unless he's gone with a totally different formation. But we shall see. But I doubt it, especially at home as well. Virgil's going to be in there. Matip in there for you guys. Um, is Mata been there for you guys? That seems to have been the pick over the last few weeks, isn't it? Or does Kanate go in there or Joe? And Trent, of course, on the right. Midfield. Um, I like the balance of this midfield a lot better than I do with Mac in the six. I think we could damage Everton a lot more if we have Mac and Sabozlai in the eights. But let us know your thoughts in there. Gravenberch I have in there in the six. Now, is there a case for putting Endo in the six? I'm not too sure. Is there a case where Mac goes in the six and maybe Gravenberch goes out wide or something like that? I'm not too sure. Normally he's more central and stuff like that. But let us know your thoughts. What are you going with in terms of your midfield? Um, Morris is in. It's about TV, Noel. I don't think there is a conspiracy. Liverpool are a huge club to bring in big numbers for that slot for BT. Still, it should be rotated better. Well, United are going to bring in just as big numbers, aren't they, Morris? Now I know because it's a derby game. Obviously, it's a bigger deal if you like. But United are bring in the same numbers in that half 12 slot and gets finished early so they can go off and prepare for Copenhagen. Would still make sense. So I'm not too sure whether that's the case either. It's just, you know what I mean. I mean, can it be about that consistently if it's 14 times versus six for Spurs and all that, and no one else even near close to us? Like why could Man City Brighton could have went into that slot. There's plenty of games could have went into that slot. It didn't need necessarily to be us again. Um, Jack's in 2-0. Donny, what the so with this? Absolutely. It's not easy. It's not easy. But let us know. Let us know, lads. What do you think? What's your starting 11? What are you going with here? Are you agreeing with me here? Any disagreements? Does Costas go back in? Is that the talk? Robbo's been having quite a tough season. Obviously picking up that injury isn't great either, but he hasn't been playing great all season either. But this guy hasn't necessarily been pushing him either, except when there's the odd injury and stuff like that. And you even see when Robbo comes back off his shoulder injury, he'll go straight back in and Costas will get hooked. So is it real competition there? And when Costas has come in as well, he hasn't necessarily performed. We haven't been seeing that Costas that's really working down the wing and whipping those quality balls in that we need. So let us know. Costas goes straight back in. Again, as I said, the dilemma over the midfield, I think Szoboszlai and McAllister pick themselves really at this stage. But McAllister, Mac might go into the middle. I think he might be the anchor man, but let's say I'd love to see his creativity. But obviously, it's a very attacking midfield there if you go with Gravenberch in the middle as well. Um, his desire to go forward doesn't negate what we need in the six. Are we going to need it tomorrow against Everton? We will look at the Everton side and see where the danger comes from, and there will be danger tomorrow. Don't assume that there won't be. This is not going to be. I hope it's as easy as some people are thinking, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as some people thinking. Up front, what are we going with here? Are we going with Diaz, Nunes, and Salah? Is that what you're thinking there as well? Or do we put Jota in there with less travel and all that kind of stuff? Would Jota be fresher to go in there? The only thing about Jota as well, especially in a derby, I'd like to spring him from the bench because I think Jota's starting could potentially pick up an early booking. He's a little bit emotional when it comes to these derby games and stuff like that. I think Darwin could do a number there in the middle matching up against Tarkovsky as well. And one thing I want to say about it as well, when we do look at the Everton side, Tarkovsky is a danger man. We spoke about this in the Brighton preview with Lewis Dunk and how important it is for Virgil van Dijk at the back there to sort his soldiers, sort his trooper, pick up the man that he needs to pick up, which is the danger man, the bigger guys and stuff like that. He should have been the guy on Lewis Dunk, not standing there looking dumbfounded when these things happen. So let us know, Virgil van Dijk, he has to be the guy. If the set piece is coming in from Everton tomorrow, Tarkovsky is the danger. And that has to be recognised. And Virgil van Dijk is the man who has to stand up and make sure that that's sorted. That's really, really, really important. Um, um, maybe the head of BT is a United fan. Yeah, maybe. No strange. Mate, looks like Tranmere season is over. Looks like we're going back down to the National League. It's mad the way these teams just fall off. I was watching the Premier League years yesterday. It was really good. I was really enjoying watching United and Arsenal and all those great games and stuff. But it was mad when you look down through and Sheffield Wednesday was there and Ipswich was there and all these teams and how they have fallen off and stuff like that. It was mad to see and stuff like that. These were big teams. Coventry was a huge team back then. They had some great ballers, played some great football, beat some big teams as well. They had some really good ballers in there, and it was great to see. It was great throwback on a Thursday too, and it could become part of my routine because Thursday I'm normally off, bar mine and the dogs and stuff. So it was really enjoyable. Mate, thank fucking he's 15 tonight going to watch this shit club. Stop with the charge in, Jack. 15 quid, is it? 15 quid in, even for you younger guys. Interesting. This team is levels above your 11 last year. Yeah, definitely Morris in terms of energy, in terms of skill, and also the options that he has as well. But if you look at that team there on the screen, there's so much talent around that team there. I mean, if you want to invert Trent in, Costas attacking down that side, the options that we now have up front. But again, you got to go out and you got to do it. It's a derby game, so you got to make sure that it happens. And that's been the key thing. You can't Jota instead of Darwin. Jota up the middle. I don't know whether Jota. I wouldn't like to. I wouldn't like to necessarily match up Jota versus Tarkovsky. I think that could be a slight mismatch. I think Darwin will do better pressure in there and stuff like that. If anything, I was thinking out the left side there where Luis Diaz is. A lot of travel on that man, but it depends how he's feeling tomorrow. But look, they're all going to turn around and tell the gaffer they're feeling great, aren't they? They all want to play in the derby. They all want to be on telly. Niall, could you may please react to my Musiala complaint and speak about how, but yesterday you said you can't because it will kick you, won't it? Well, could you may please react to me and speak about how, but yesterday you said you can't because it'll kick you, won't it? I'm not sure what do you mean by that? I'm a little bit lost. I definitely don't see him coming in. I think it's going to be too much money. I just can't see. He's a phenomenal player. What's the crack, Noel? Daz, how are you, my friend? All set for the derby. Let us know your thoughts. Don't forget, folks, let us know your lineup in the chat if you want, and also let us know what's your prediction. Give us your score predictions in the chat as well, and let us know who the goal scorers are going to be. Remember, I went for, what was my one? 3-1 I'm going for. I'm going for 3-1. 9 for a ticket, including food, 15. That's not bad at all now. That's a great deal, Jack. That's cool. Jota loves a good derby goal. He does, yeah, but I don't know. He's a bit emotional, our Diogo Jota, isn't he? But absolutely. Ipswich 8 points clear in second, could return. Their match was postponed tonight. Unplayable pitch. I'd love to see Ipswich back in the Prem. That would excite me again. Just reverting back, like Luton is in there and stuff. We seen Leeds came back up and stuff like that. And all. Just throw back to the old days and stuff like that. Really cool. You'll never walk alone. Remember when I told you about that Jamie in your short? Yes, absolutely. Brilliant stuff. So frustrating that UFC starts at 5 p.m. clashing with Chelsea versus Arsenal and Sheffield United versus Man United. So you got to have the laptop and you got to have the TV and the phone. You got to be prepared. Niall, guess who's on soon in 20 minutes? On soon 20 minutes. It's Jamie. Jamie's on, isn't he, in 20 minutes doing his preview as well? I seen it there earlier. I seen he posts on Twitter as well. Am I right? I think it's Jamie, isn't it? Reacting to my Musiala best tackles and goal from my YouTube, like James reacts to players' best tackles and goals. Yeah, I seen it. I'd seen it. I reacted last night. I went on and I looked at your predictions actually. Your predictions were pretty cool, and it was cool as well. Your response that you got back as well. A lot of the people were agreeing with a lot of your predictions and stuff like that as well. That's pretty cool. Ed Sheeran down FC. As I said before, my boss is an Ipswich fan, and one of the girls is Luton. It's mad, isn't it? How was that girl feeling Luton back in the Premier League? That must be stellar. I know they're not going too well and stuff like that, but still to be even, sometimes you don't have to be the key thing in the party to be enjoying the party and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, mate. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, he's on in 20 minutes. You'll never walk alone. Yeah, absolutely. Love Jamie stuff. I'll drop on. I'll watch his once I'm finished here and stuff like that. Right, come on, give me your predictions. No one's giving me predictions. Who's gonna put their nads out on the chopping block here with a prediction? What are we going with? I told you 3-1. I'm going with 3-1. I'm going with Mo Salah to get one. Trent, the Scouser in our team, is gonna set piece free kick. And what else am I gonna go with? Dominic Szoboszlai to get the third. That's what I'm going with. And I think I'll probably go with Calvert-Lewin to get the one for Everton. 3-1 I'm going with in the derby, and I take your hand off now for that. Morris, do you tractor? Aisha's on fire. Correct about Jamie Noel. Yeah, I knew he was on. Yeah, I seen a Twitter post earlier and all. Lads is going for 5-0. Salah 2, Jota 1, and Nunes 2. Wouldn't we just love that? And I know we're on here and we're complaining about the 12:30 starts and stuff like that because it's just weird and stuff like that. But wouldn't it be nice tomorrow by about 2 o'clock or 2:30, whatever it is, that we'd have 3 points in the bag, no injuries, brilliant performance, good win, big win in the derby and stuff like that, and then be able to sit back and watch all the other teams sweat them for the rest of the day. That's where it has its advantage. And of course, we'll be reacting to the match tomorrow as well. But trying to fit it all in, how's it going to come together? Because you're going to get match after match after match tomorrow, non-stop. And as Acer said as well, the UFC clashing with it, that UFC card tomorrow is absolutely stacked. We take a look at that in the morning and do a little show, maybe giving my predictions on it and stuff like that. Love the UFC. Jack is in 4-0. Jota, Szoboszlai, Virgil, and Salah. All four. How good would that be as well? 4 individual scorers as well. And of course, Salah as well, probably with 1 or 2 assists tomorrow as well, would be pretty cool. Morris, any news on Saka? I think he's all good. I think he's going to be okay and stuff like that and all. That should be a great game as well, that Chelsea-Arsenal game as well. It'll be interesting to see how that all fares out. Let's jump on to the Everton team. Let's get our beautiful team off the screen here. This is the Everton team that's probably going to play tomorrow. Looking at team news there at the moment, we know Seamus Coleman's out with a knee. Dele Alli with a groin are still working their way back to full fitness. Andre Gomez has a calf, so he's uncertain at the time of writing. Idrissa Gueye was due to start against Bournemouth 2 weeks ago, but had a heel injury in the warm-up, led to Garner going in. James Garner, of course, ex-Man United, who was a breath of fresh air when he went in there. So he's a guy who could be really, really dangerous tomorrow. Drafted into that midfield role, and because he played so well as well and is playing so well, he's given Deutsch a bit of a headache in that midfield. So we'll have to see who he actually goes with. Of course, remembering that game as well, Jack Harrison with that goal. What a goal that was as well. Unbelievable. Geordie's in. How are the lads? Good. How are you, my friend? All set for tomorrow? Big games coming at us and stuff. Jack, yeah, do a live tomorrow morning, please. I'll see what I can do. I'll try and fit it in. Flat out these days, Jack. 2 businesses, family, the whole lot and all. As I said to you before, I'm lucky to get an hour to do these things. Is the 3 p.m. blackout still going ahead tomorrow? It is, it is indeed, but not for if you're in the know. If you're in the know, then there is no 3 p.m. blackout. But yeah, it's going ahead, yeah. Arteta says he wants to play. That's as much as known. Saliba, a doubt. God, I hope Saliba plays. He's going to be key. I can't wait to see Saliba. Who's he going to match up with? Is it Raheem? Could be Raheem. Could be Mudryk. Could be he's going to look at what they did to Haaland 2 weeks ago. He's going to lap that up. Not on our TVs, Ted. Exactly. Jack, are you going to react to him when we see a video, please, mate? I want to see what you think of him by watching his best tackles and goals. I will react to it. I will. Once I finish this, I'll take a look at it. Don't worry, mate. Absolutely. Doucouré can do some damage to the Liverpool squad, mate. Absolutely. And this is what I'm talking about, Geordie. Spot on. Yes, get in 2-1. Tranmere with the comeback at the moment. Let's see how they go. But let's look at it. Jordan Pickford and goals. Of course, we know potentially how good he is. He's England's number one and stuff like that. But we do like playing against him. But he will he will ratchet up that shit housery tomorrow as he always does. Ashley Young there at right back, I could see as a real opportunity for us there. James Garner, we know, has come in, has done really well, got that goal, which was really important. Tarkovsky and Brandwaite in there as well. And Mikolenko, this guy is very, very dangerous. If you've seen this guy play, very, very positive on the ball, very skillful on the ball. And doesn't shy away from it as well. Very confident in possession as well. Sees one that needs to be really careful. Dwight McNeil, we know how dangerous he can be as well. At putting balls in and down the wing and all that kind of stuff. We're going to have to be really careful of him. Jack Harrison and Onana is an interesting midfield with the Core in there as well. So that could be one that really needs to be managed. But I see Onana's going to be really, really physical in there. Jack Harrison, he can either be absolutely wonderful or he can be horrific. And the early stages of the game really dictates that and stuff. But again, one really, really careful running from deep and stuff like that. You have to be so careful with him. And we know he can hit a ball. So we have to be really, really careful. The Core, we know what he's all about. Really skillful, really physical. So that's one for Van Dijk, needs to be on his game tomorrow. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin as well. After coming back from injury, finding his way again and stuff like that. We know how the difficulty this boy has had with injuries, but we also know how good he can be. So that's where your danger is coming from. But Garner would be one I'd be very careful of. Tarkovsky I spoke about for anything set pieces into our box corners, free kicks, anything like that. He's one that needs to be watched. There's goals in him. We need to get at the boy at left back, Mikolenko, very, very early. Otherwise, he can really confidently grow into a game and stuff like that and become a very good baller. Generally not wasteful in possession either and stuff like that as well. So the press will need to have to press him really strong at times. Onana, he's one. We spoke about him even in the summer when we were looking at midfielders. I wouldn't have been against him coming into the Liverpool side, being honest. Yeah, Jordy, the Core can do some damage, absolutely. Hopefully Saliba matches up with Michael Jackson. Yeah, absolutely. It'll be no matchup. It'll be no matchup. Saliba's outstanding. No, I mean, whilst you're live, I can't react to it while I'm live because I can't see it. I can't see it while I'm live. I can't bring it onto mine. Impact bound for Glory pay-per-view tomorrow night as well. Yeah, absolutely. Ted, Pickford versus Virgil van Dijk round 2. This will be round 3 if you remember, because we had the penalties, didn't we? Remember the penalty against him and stuff like that, and all, he didn't like it. Yeah, but this, yeah, round 3 and round 2 anyway. Yeah, but it's again, should be all right. Should be tasty. It's always tasty. Daz Acers is it the week after next AEW pay-per-view, Christian versus Edge? Not too sure. Do you think Everton's Onana will be any good between the sticks? I think with a name like Onana, you're probably better off staying away from the sticks at the moment. But he's a heck of a midfielder. Heck of a midfielder. Christian versus Edge in an empty arena. There you go. Yeah. COVID wrestling. Christian versus Edge, Full Gear, November 18th. Yeah, absolutely. If he fails anyone tomorrow, I mean Pickford, he could be seeing red. I don't know. No sound, mate. No, not to worry. Yeah, absolutely. So that's it, folks. That's it. Let us know again if you want. If you're watching on the replay, of course, smash that subscribe and bell notification button. Hit the like on the video, of course, share the content, all that good stuff. We will be back tomorrow at some stage with a match reaction. We'll probably drop a few shorts in the morning and we'll see, can we squeeze in something for the UFC. Got to do my homework on it tomorrow and stuff like that. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. If you're around the east coast of Ireland, stay in, stay safe. Don't be going out, and it's crazy out there at the moment. I cannot stay on any longer. Stephen French is in. Easy win for the Cop. Absolutely. Hopefully, that's what we want. Pickford is a terrible keeper. And Acers, of course. CM Punk rumor to appear bound for Glory. Impact has offered him a contract. Yeah, I don't think they can't afford him. Now stay on longer, please, mate. I can't. I actually have to jump off. I have about 10 dogs downstairs looking for me that need to be looked after as well. So, but yeah, I'll check out that video for you, Jack, as well, and I'll react to it while I'm downstairs. And yeah, whatever else you need me to do, hit me up. Go and see Jamie in a minute. Yeah, I'll pop Jamie on as well as soon as I'm finished here. Watch it while I'm doing the dogs. Okay, mate. Listen, folks, see you soon. Stay safe. Enjoy the weekend, whatever happens. Hopefully, the Reds come in with a big win, go top of the league as well with a few goals, hopefully. You'll never walk alone. And thank you for joining us tonight. And we'll talk to you again real soon. Cheers.